Hi everybody. This recording is going to give you some information about the writing fair. We are so excited that each of you are going to have the opportunity to take part in the 2021 writing fair. On Monday, January 25th, during your Power Hour class, you are going to have the opportunity to write and respond to some prompts that we're going to provide you. But you also can write about a topic of your choice. So we want to make sure that you know what those topics are ahead of time to give you an opportunity to brainstorm and also to clarify any questions you may have about what those types of writing should look like. So the three categories that we have for you to choose from when writing your response would be poetry. You can choose to write a poem. That poem can be in any shape or form. It can be in a structured poem, such as a sonnet, a haiku, whatever type of poetry that you are familiar with, you enjoy. It can be free verse where the words rhyme or they don't, depending on what it is you want to communicate. But any type of poem, and we have some prompts to help get you started, but you also have the opportunity to choose to write a poem on the topic of your choice. The second category that you can choose from would be a short story. You can remember from your language arts classes, a short story is a work that follows a plot. It has a beginning, a middle, and end where you have the exposition, information is introduced, you get the once upon a time part of the story. All of the events start to unfold. We get new information leading to a climax. As a result of the climax, we have the following action where all the loose ends are tied up in the story, ultimately giving us a resolution. There should be a setting that is evident in your story. If you choose a short story, it should involve characters. Characters would be speaking to one another, so dialogue will probably be included. But a short story is something that is an option, and we do have some prompts to help get you started and give you some ideas. But if you have a story in your brain that you'd like to write, you do have the option to write a short story about a topic of your choice. The third category is a narrative. A narrative is different from a short story. It is simply, if you think about a movie and you have the person who's talking above the action and that person is narrating the events, who's pulling those loose ends together, they're telling a story. It's not necessarily a story itself. It's more that you're telling a story. So for example, if I were to tell you about my favorite trip, the best trip that I've ever been on, my favorite destination, and I told you the story of one time that I went to that particular destination and what I did that day, I'm narrating a story. So I'm telling you that story of that event. If I tell you what I think life would be like for me in 10 years from now, and I'm telling you the story of a day in my life 10 years from today, that's narrating that event. So you can do a narrative. We have some prompts again to give you some ideas of different stories that you could tell or narrate, but you also could choose to tell us a story of your choice as well. So those are the three different categories. Your teachers can clarify any questions that you have about those topics or those categories. We have a handout for you so you can look at the topics that are provided for your grade level. And if you have any questions or concerns, let us know. General rules and guidelines for you to keep in mind when you complete your final copy that's going to be submitted, it needs to be typed. So you can do that through Google Docs. And you'll share that with your teacher. They'll give you specific instructions on how to do that. There is a limit of 1,900 words. So when you are in Google Docs, you can go to the top of the screen and use the tools. There is a word count function that you can use that will tell you how many words are in your document. So I'm thinking if you do the narrative or the short story, that's where you would want to watch your words if the story becomes more involved, to make sure that you are telling a story that's going to be able to be told in that limit of 1,900 words. There will be other specifics your teacher will share, but above all, we want you to enjoy the experience. We write academically all the time in explaining our learning and the things that we're expressing in class, but we want you to remember that writing is something that you can do just to enjoy it, just to have the experience. It can be something that you do for fun. So we hope you enjoy this experience. and we are excited for the opportunity for each of you to participate in this year's writing fair.